Welcome to Becoming is Messy, where we dive deep into the journey of survival, transformation, and everything in between. I'm your host, Meghann Dawson, here to share the honest, unfiltered stories behind my own process of becoming. Life isn't a pretty and perfect straight line, and neither is becoming the person we're meant to be. Here, we embrace the ups, the downs, all the beautiful, chaotic, messy moments that shape who we are. Whether you're in the thick of change or reflecting on past transformations, this space is for real conversations about what it means to grow, stumble, and rise again. So get comfy, settle in, and let's get messy. Hello, friends. This is it, my first opportunity to welcome you to Becoming is Messy. I hope this is just the very beginning of our shared journey, a journey with lots of authenticity, growth, laughter, and tons of grace. In this episode, I share a bit about who I am and my intentions for the podcast. Overall, my goal is to help us all celebrate the messiest parts of our stories, because I believe that it's in those messy moments where we have the potential to really find out the core of who we are, discover what our purpose is. It's in the sharing of our imperfections where the strongest of connection to others is possible. As someone whose life experience has been shaped by complex trauma, I've spent so much time trying to find ways to simply live, feel, and be normal. There's tons of resources for PTSD, but many of those options are designed for a singular traumatic experience. It's taken me years and tons of trial and error to learn how to thrive in the face of many different types of trauma. I've never found a silver bullet, but instead I found that a daily, continuous, and ever-evolving holistic approach is the answer for me. My experiences may just be from a singular perspective, but I hope that my personal journey with complex post-traumatic stress disorder may provide some ideas that are helpful to those of you with complex trauma backgrounds as well. As for why I chose Becoming is Messy as the title of this podcast and what it means to me. For so long, I thought becoming the best version of myself meant reaching a perfect state. Perfect choices, perfect timing, leading to a buttoned-up, perfectly healed version of myself. But let's be honest, life has other plans. It throws curveballs, detours, and outright chaos. And the truth I've learned? It's often in the ugliest of moments where the most growth happens. For example, when I found out at 39 that the dad I'd grown up with wasn't my biological father, my world blew up. My identity was stripped to its core. All of the growth and lessons that I thought had already led me to my best self dissipated. I felt as though I was starting my healing journey all over again. It was messy. It was emotional. It was hard. And it forced me to re-examine every part of my story. But in that mess, I found clarity, healing, and deeper connections with the people in my life. The tools that had helped me find peace before once again provided a path forward. Society just loves to celebrate the underdogs, those who rise to victory, the comeback story, the moments of redemption and overcoming and winning. Yet, it's taboo for us to ever talk about the struggles that take place on the way to the top. The mistakes, the pain, the betrayal, the depression, the insecurities, anxieties, the addictions, the affairs, the rock bottoms. We all have those things, those moments where we feel shame and embarrassed and disgusted by who we are. But no, we can't talk about those, especially when we're right in the messy middle of fucking up. And the weight of hiding our darkest moments, that just continues to make us spiral even more. I've been there, I've done that. For the first 30 years of my life, I hid so much of myself. because I didn't see a safe way to share the hard stuff. From the very beginning of my life, I was broken. My body and my soul, my entire life still before me, yet I was already broken. The medical restoration of my body would never make it whole, but at least there was a dimly lit path forward. The damage was visible, leaving behind a manual of sorts, laid bare for doctors to follow for the days, months, and years ahead, as they did their best to piece back together what was lost: mangled joints, shortened limbs, limited movement, and scar tissue. There were clear pieces of me that needed to be fixed. As for my soul, there was no manual. I've never known where the real me ends and the rot begins. For as long as I can remember, I've been highly sensitive, attuned to both my surroundings and the complexities of my inner world. I feel every little and big thing with an intensity I can't explain. I analyze and question each thought I have. There's always been a haze of sadness mixed with curiosity that filters my experiences. I've just never felt like I belonged, anywhere or with anyone. I've resented my lot in life while trying hard not to feel sorry for myself. I've worn a smile to mask my hurt, to avoid showing the world how much I've always felt less than. I wandered aimlessly through my childhood and young adult years, searching out things that would take the pain away. Achievement, alcohol, boys, which far too soon became men, all became my go-to fixes. Although their solace never lasted long, the numbing was always fleeting. And looking back, I can clearly see how the boys and the alcohol just traumatized me even more. It wouldn't be until my late 20s when I started to recognize that a manual for healing my own soul was starting to unfold before me. The instructions would begin arriving in the form of my experiences with other people. There was a rhythm to certain connections. I could sense it deeply. As I tuned in, there started to be very vivid lessons that started to crystallize into a very clear path forward. Those lessons guided me one step ahead at a time, away from being a victim of my past and into the creator of my now. Over the course of my early 30s, I increasingly gained trust in my inner voice and the abundance of the universe. I continued to gain lessons from others while also soaking up as much knowledge as I could about spirituality, the law of attraction, the releasing of shame, and meditation. All of these practices would help lead me to a loving husband and a blended family, a group of amazing friends, a fulfilling career, and a feeling of peace within myself. At just 39 years old, I thought I had cracked the code to life. It was so far from where I began, and I felt pride in that. Over lunch with a group of girlfriends one afternoon, we reflected on us all nearing our 40th birthdays. I joked, "All right, what now? The first half of my life has been so chaotic, so full of pain and shame and life lessons. I guess the second half will probably just be boring." Of course, that wouldn't be the case. A week later, I received a phone call that kicked off a series of events that would flatten me, stripping me of my most basic sense of identity. Over the next few years, I'd come to learn through loss, grief, shock, forgiveness, and letting go that a soul never stops evolving. Lessons will never stop coming. My journey to wholeness hasn't been a straight line. Becoming has been fucking messy. And the times I was just about out of the mess, something has come along and pushed me right back into it. Rinse and repeat, over and over again. Of course, this isn't just my unique experience. For years, I worked hard to keep the worst of me hidden, worried that if I were ever to be discovered as the bad person I was, Everybody would hate me as much as I hated myself. My secrets piled up and festered into a forever cycle of self-destruction. But the opposite of my fear of being found out started to become clear. The things that had happened to me, the things that I had done that led me to hate myself, were even more damning to hold inside. When the weight of secrets got too heavy to bear, I started slowly opening up to the people I trusted most. As I began to tell parts of my story, I felt lighter. As I told even more of my truths, I felt free. And I wasn't alone in my feelings of shame. I started to realize that the worst of me was what resonated most with others. It didn't push them away. It brought us even closer together. We are all fucked up in one way or another. I've yet to meet somebody who isn't. In telling my truths, I got stronger. I got more courageous. Inspired to share even more broadly and openly. Owning the whole of my story put me on a path to finally discovering self-love for myself. A shamanic massage therapist once told me that so many bad things happening to me in this life can only mean one thing, and that's that I must have been a real douchebag in a past life to now be faced with so much obvious karmic debt. I really hope that that's not the case, but I do feel a sense of purpose in the many lessons that I've gained from the ups and downs along my tumultuous life. In the episodes to come, I plan to focus on three main things. 1, the stories from my life on topics like medical trauma, alcoholism, divorce, family violence, sexual abuse, infidelity, blended families, infertility, chronic disease, parental estrangement, being a step-parent, and so many others. 2, the tools and the people that have helped me along the way. Resources that help me learn more about the impact of trauma, learn more about my unique strengths and weaknesses, how to quiet my mind and tap into my inner voice, the magic of the universe, the law of attraction, the things that have helped me cope with the day-to-day, and the many things that have inevitably helped me heal. And last, I'll be here to cheer you on as you navigate your own messy path to becoming. I can't wait to hear your stories and learn how I can best support you along the way. I'm happy to evolve our conversations in whatever way this growing community needs. I'm sure I'll learn so much from you as well. We're in this together. Thank you so much for jumping into the mess with me. I can't wait for all that's yet to come. Before we wrap today, I want to invite you to be part of the Becoming is Messy community. Subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss a single episode. And if there's anything that resonates with you, please leave a review. Your feedback means the world to me, and it helps other people find this community. Follow me on social media. I'd love to hear your ideas for future topics, your questions, and stories from your own messy moments. And if you're feeling inspired, check out the Becoming is Messy shop, where you can grab a mug, a t-shirt, or something else that reminds you to embrace your messy magic every single day. A huge thank you to the incredible Wolves and Sheep for providing the music for Becoming is Messy. Check them out on your favorite music streaming platform. As we close out today's episode, remember this: messy is just another word for growing. So keep showing up, keep laughing, and keep making beautifully awkward progress. Until next time, stay messy, my friends.